Okay, so hey guys, we're gonna be building the frequently asked questions accordion main challenge from Frontend mentor. So this is what we're gonna be building again. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's an accordion challenge, and we're gonna be trying to do this by ourselves. So let's get started. So you're gonna need the starter files, which are gonna be in the link in the description down below. This is gonna be very important because yeah, it's going to be very important. So I'm going to put this in right over here. Okay, now so we can see it. So let's see what we're building. So okay, so I'm going to close the sidebar, and now we're going to get started on this immediately. So I'm going to have a link to a CSS file which I already have right over here, as you can see. So we're going to go down. We're going to have a container, and what we're going to do, we're going to build this in blocks. So each question 1, answer 1. Pretty simple stuff. So we're going to say question -1. Yeah. Question -1 #1 which is just an ID. Okay. So we're going to copy this. We're going to say answer. So you have question 1, answer 1, and now we're going to copy this and duplicate this 4 times. 2, 3, 4. So now we're going to change this question 2 with an ID of 2, answer 2. So let's remove the ID on the answer first. We don't need that right now. Might add it back, but let's just remove it first. So this is going to be question 3, ID 3, yeah, answer 3. We're deleting the ID on the answer. So question 4. So there are only 4 questions, right? So ID 4, answer 4. We're deleting the ID on the answer one. So we're pretty much done with the HTML now. All we just have to just do is populate it as we require. So question 1, answer 1. Question 2, answer 2. Question 3, answer 3. Question 4, answer 4. So what we just have to do is we just have to put, sorry, not an H4, a H1 of FAQs, which is called frequently asked questions. So now let's copy this stuff and append them as necessary. Okay. So Frontend Mentor is actually a place where you can get really cool challenges to build. A lot of challenges from Frontend Mentor on my channel. I just really like building their challenges. It's really awesome, sure. Okay, so is Frontend Mentor free? No, they are not. Okay, they technically are free, but because they technically are free, sure, but they have some premium plans. Okay, so let's put that here. Let's be watching this closely. We don't want to make a mistake. Okay, so can you use Frontend Mentor challenges on your portfolio? No. Actually, yes, I'm just joking. You can use them on your portfolio. Yeah, it's a pretty nice website. So you're gonna need to subscribe to me so that whenever I post their solutions, you might want to just like check them out or something. So says, well, for our last question, how can I get help if I get stuck on Frontend Mentor challenges? There are actually a lot of nice people on Frontend Mentor that actually like help you to I give informative advice like me. Okay, now so what we're pretty much done with the question and answer stuff. So just a review overview, we have question 1, answer 1, question 2, answer 2, question 3, answer 3, question 4, answer 4. Pretty basic stuff. We're going to need to apply some level JavaScript, but there is something that is actually quite missing that I think is missing in the question 1, and that is actually an image. So this is going to be flexed. I'm going to put a paragraph here and an image here because the user needs to be able to click an image. So let's put a paragraph tag. I didn't actually consider that before, so let's put them in paragraph tags, because flexbox is between two elements, and if it's not in a paragraph tag, it's not in any element, so we're not gonna have control over it at all. So assets, so this is gonna be icon plus, and we're gonna give this an ID of open. I'm gonna copy this. So I'm just adding this. The reason why I'm giving it an ID is because of the fact that so we can control it with JavaScript, because we need a solid reference where that image is. Oh, but instead of giving it an ID, I just remembered something actually. I haven't quite coded in a long time. This should actually be a class. It should actually be a class, because you can't have IDs everywhere. Okay, you can't have IDs everywhere. That's not good. So we'll change that in a moment. So we're gonna take this right here, X this, put this here. I'm gonna do some keyboard magic to so now we're gonna bring back our keyboard history. So that's like it's like a keyboard magic trick that I always do in my videos, and I don't always do all the time because I don't want you guys to know it. So I'll tell you guys I want 1,000 subscribers or something. Okay, so now that's unnecessary. Let's look at the HTML again. So everything is divided into blocks. Question 1, answer 1, up to question 4. The reason we put question 1 has 2 elements because of the fact that we need to flexbox, and flexbox is between 2 elements. And if we don't put that paragraph tag and just leave the text like that, we're not going to be able to control it. Put a paragraph tag so we can give control. We give a class to the image so that when we click that particular question, we can transverse to the DOM and change the source of the image tag, and maybe even add the class of close. I don't need to take the class, might even be necessary, sure, but let's just leave it. Okay, now, so the CSS. So let's see what this looks in the browser, first of all. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's see what this looks in the browser. So this is quite taking a long time to start. So while it's starting, say something like body, background red. Okay, now so let's come here, type local host. Oh yeah, can you see everything has been quite organized? It has that annoying red color. Okay, let's save that. It's also open in Microsoft Edge, but we're not going to be using Edge because Microsoft Edge. Okay, now so we see it right here. So let's put this on one window and put this on one window. Okay, so nice. So this is what we're building in, and this is where we are starting from. So first of all, we're going to start with the body. We might need to modify the HTML later on, sure, but let's not complicate things at first. So first of all, what we want to do is that we want to take all these colors and put them in CSS variables. So we say to do that, we could do it in the body actually, but you know what Cool kids normally do. They like to use the root selector. So let's drag this a little bit. Okay. So to define a variable is very simple. Just double dashes, then you put your colon. Make sure there's no spaces between your words, and make sure to put your colon. Okay, so like that, and that we have our variables. Now let's continue styling. So our body, we're going to say background color. We're going to give the body a background color of, I think it's lightish pink. So background color var, this is how you access it, light pink. Okay. So now we're going to make our container stand out by giving it a background color of FFF. We don't have to use a variable one. So for our container, we're going to give this a border radius of 10 pixels. We're going to give this a padding of 20 pixels. So for the container, I want to give it a width of 400 pixels at first. So let's start from there. We'll change things as things goes on. So let's attach a class of none. And one more thing we need to do is that we have to attach the proper font to this. So let's do some stuff. So first of all, we're going to attach the font by saying font face. I'm going to attach the source property, local, assets, fonts, regular. And we're going to call it, so we're going to say font family, could be anything here, my font. So body, no, not even the body set. I'm going to say everything, font family, my font, by force. So what I want to do in the display none class, I want to say display none. And let's open up the HTML again. The HTML is undergoing modifications. So let's look at it first. Things look better, far better. So first of all, in addition to having question 1, question 2, we want to give them a general question class so we can style them collectively and not having to type question 1, question 2, question 3, like that. So question, and question. Okay, so now what we want to do is I want to say question display flex. So we want to say let's look at it properly. Align items are center. Let's take a look at the mobile design for a moment first. So for the align item center is going to set it vertically. Okay. Okay, yeah. So instead of giving it 400, let's give it 500 pixels or 700 pixels, just so we can see it properly. And justify content should be space between want to space between things. And now, so let's center this thing. So I'm gonna say display flex, justify content center, align item center. You know, we're gonna give these classes on the body. Display flex, align item and justify content. They center it on the vertical axis and on the horizontal axis, x and y axis respectively. And we give it, so if something is centered on the x and y axis, if you don't give it the full height, you're not going to see it centered vertically. Same thing with width. The reason why we can see it centered horizontally as in equal spacing is because of the fact that by default this takes up 100%. So we give it mean height 100, view height, because we want to see it centered vertically. Boom. So we have that now. We want to say question H2, right? Question, is it H2 or H1? I'm not quite sure. What's there again? So it's even a paragraph. So let's change all the paragraphs. This should not actually be a paragraph, though. But it's okay being a paragraph. It's not wrong. Okay. So paragraph. Want to give them color var grayish purple. Want to say font weight bold, because we aren't using the other bolder font, so let's import the other bolder font as well. Copy this, say my font bold, I will say work sans bold. So what we'll do is I will say font family. I'm not quite sure if this is going to work, but let's see. So we'll say font family my font bold, because nobody really understands CSS specificity. The reason why I said I'm not quite sure it's going to work because I'm giving this important, and I might have to remove it if it doesn't work, but I want to see if it will work. It's like it didn't work. Wow. So let's get rid of this. See, it looks a little bit darker now. So what I want to say is I want to say font weight. I want to give this the highest possible weight we can give it. Or maybe this is just the wrong color. It's just straight up the wrong color. It's just straight up the wrong color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease the weight of it. Anyhow, we'll come back to that in a moment. So what we want to do is I want to target the H2. So the paragraph rather. Is that a paragraph? No, that can't be a paragraph. Can't make that mistake. So it's the H1, which is the FLAC test. So what I want to do is I want to say my font bold color dark purple. And what we want to do, we actually forgot to put that star in the H1 actually. But that's a small detail. We'll come back to that in a moment. So I want to say font family 2 rems. 1 rem is 18 pixels, so I think it should be, so let's say 3 rems. Oh, I'm saying font family. Sorry, font size. It's like when I saw it, like my brain gave like the impression that it had actually increased when it had not. Let's just say 3.3 rems. So what we want to do is that let's so what we want to say 500 pixels. 500 pixels. Let's give it. Actually, 500 pixels doesn't quite cut it. And we also have to give it some inside padding as well. So what we want to do is I want to come to the container and we want to say let's make the padding 40 pixels, double the padding. And while we're going to give this 3 rems or something. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say box shadow 3 pixels, 3 pixels, 3 pixels, RGB A 0, 0, 0, 0. So the first numbers are the coordinates as I'm going to show. The first numbers are the coordinates while the number is the color, as you can see. So I'm going to open the developer tool and we're going to see a box shadow tool which we're going to edit in a moment. So for our container, we want to edit we reduce the blur, increase the spread a little bit. So what we're doing, we're just editing the coordinates. So it's now minus 12, 19 pixels, 0 pixel, 2 pixels. And as for the color, we might even want to even darken the color a little bit. So just darken the color a little bit. That looks a little bit more nice. What do you think? But it's still, in my opinion, it's still far from perfect. Still really far from perfect. How long have we been recording? 22 minutes. We're going to be here for about 40. Yeah, wow. So what I want to do now is I want to do this big background stuff. So what I want to do now is I want to do this big background stuff. So let's look at this. It's looking a little bit big in my eye, but let me look at it the resolution of this computer is actually quite small, so let's not leave that as a means. So then I'm going to put this on 144. Actually looks something like this. Wow. Okay. So let's do this background stuff and let's see if we can wrap up this stuff very quickly. Something is not quite right. Let's give it a height of 500 pixels. Wow. Height auto. Anyhow, let's see how this goes. First of all, we want to give it class BG. So this is actually going to be into the BG container because we want to give the BG a position of absolute. Sorry, the container a position of absolute, which is the child. We give a position of absolute while we give them a position of relative. So what we do is that we now absolutely position it on top of it. If you don't know positioning, I highly recommend you do go know positioning. but I'm gonna try my best so you can count on me. Okay, so everything is inside a BG div. So what we want to do is inside our BG divs, I want to say BG. I want to say background color. I want to say var dark purple. I want to say background image URL slash assets slash images background pattern for desktop. So background pattern for desktop, we want to say background repeat, no repeat. I want to give this a width of 100% and a height of, I don't know, maybe 400 pixels or something. So we give the body a display of flex. Maybe that's why it's acting like this. Or wait, this as the HTML save or what? It's not supposed to be acting like this actually. Okay, we'll say display. We'll give it a flex direction. Cool. It's not supposed to be behaving like this. Why is there space at the top? What I don't get. So let's investigate. As a developer, you need to be able to investigate weird things and stop them from propagating. Yes, propagating. Okay. Okay, we've seen the problem immediately. Okay, the body is centering everything. Okay. So what we want to do is I want to take this exact styles with the flex direction column. The flex direction column is very important because there are multiple, unlike the body where there's one element. And what I mean by one element is that the BG is like one element and the container is inside the BG. But for this one, yeah, there's only one element. But if there was another element that wasn't inside the BG, I'll say there were two elements. So so this flex direction column is very important. We can remove it and see what happens. So let's put that there. Okay, now you can see everything is now weirdly centered. We can cut the justify content center. In fact, we're going to remove this F. It's not even supposed to be here. We'll put it inside the BG container or something. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to give the body a margin of 0. So the reason why we took it from the container was because of the fact that it was affecting the container's element, that is the elements inside, not the external container itself. Okay. So we have something like this. Wow, that was actually a lot easier than I thought. I thought we were going to have to do some magic there. So that was actually a lot quite easier than I thought. So anywho, we might be wrapping things up there for the challenge. Okay. What's going on? Why can't we see the top? Is this just file content center across this? Okay, so let's remove the justify content center. Not quite sure why that is causing that, but I don't know. So let's take this image and put it inside the browser and see. This is how it looks in the image. And I think I know why we're seeing it like this, because of the fact that this one is actually quite open and that one is contracted. See, so we got the basic CSS done, and now let's quickly do the JavaScript. So now I'm gonna write some JavaScript. I forgot that this thing had JavaScript for a moment, and that's why I was like, this isn't right. This isn't right, but I had JavaScript, and thank you for not remembering. Okay, okay. So let's come to the index of HTML. We'll be like, uh, script tags are actually supposed to be at the bottom, sure, but if you're a cool kid and you can add the different attributes and you can actually put it at the top of the page, and it's not actually gonna matter because it's gonna load last. So we're gonna be cool today and put it on the top because we're using the different attributes. Because JavaScript is normally supposed to be loaded last because of how JavaScript it is. Okay, now, so what I'm gonna do, so how are we gonna make this work? So let's think as a software developer. We need to add an event. So when somebody clicks this, we want to toggle this. So that's just what we want to do. So when they click this, we want to toggle this essentially. Basic English. So now let's convert that to code. But yeah. So now, the first thing we do is that we look at the element that is controlling that. You can see it has a class of open. So what we want to do is I want to say const and button is going to be equal to document dot query selector all, and we're going to select all of them that have a open class. Or we could just select all the images. We can just select all the images. That is also okay. Selecting all the images is also okay, but I just actually try to tell you something. When they click here, it's actually supposed to show too, right? Is it supposed to show, or is it only supposed to show when we click here? That is something that I've been wondering. So let me just add it to the question, and we'll modify it as time goes on. But believe it or not, that image is still part of the question. So btn of for each. So for each btn, we want to run a particular function. I want to say btn or add event listener. So I want to say add event listener. I want to add an event listener. I'll click. I'll take in the event object. I want to say console.log event.target. So inspect this. Truth be told, actually, what I'm actually quite doing is actually quite reckless because of the fact that I've not done this challenge before. And yeah, I've not done this challenge before. And because I haven't done this challenge before, it might take me a longer time to do it. So I'll say event.parent. Is there anything like a parent? Event.target.parent element or something like that. Okay, bam, we get the parent element. Okay. So we can see it has an ID of 1. So how are we going to do this? It's a very important thing. So when we click here, it gives us question 2. When we click here, question 3. Question 4. I think this is how we're going to be able to know which question we are in. So let's say we'll store this in a variable. Say const question should be equal to this. So now we have the question in a variable. Okay. So what we want to do is that did we define a class of none? It's like we removed it or something. So none. We want to say display. This we're probably going to do it pretty wonky at first, but we're going to refactor it and we're going to understand it in a better way. So now I want to say answer. So constant answer is going to be equal to document dot query selector. So I want to say question dot parent element dot id, which is going to give us 1, 2, 3 or something like that. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to say query selector, not query selector, or just query selector. So what we want to do here is I want to say dollars to answer dash $sign, and I'm going to substitute in that ID. We should give us answer 1, answer 2, answer 3, answer 4. Yeah. So let's consider log if our logic is working. So we're just taking it step by step, easily, so that we don't get lost on what's this guy doing. Oh, ID is not defined, sorry. Okay, I call this answer. So let's call this question ID. So it's more clear. I don't just want to just call it ID. I'm just going to be like, where did that guy get that from? Sorry. So now, so let's reiterate. We attach a query selector on all the possible questions. So because it's query selector or it's going to give us multiple elements, and because it's a multiple element, we have to loop provide. So we loop provide, and for each element, that's what this thing means. It means for each element. Okay, so for each element, we add an event listener. Then we say event.target. So you know the question, there are multiple questions there. So you want to say you want to get that specific question. So because there are multiple questions there, and those questions, it could be all the child of the questions are there. So let me be more clear what I mean. This is a question, for example, now, and there are paragraphs and images and there are answers there. So we want to get the parent element, which is this, and we're getting the ID attribute from it, which is this. So what we're not doing here is we're saying answer plus that ID, and the ID corresponds to the answer 1. So ID 1, answer 1, ID 2, answer 2. I hope that makes sense. I know I'm pretty terrible at explaining it, but I'm getting better at trying. It says no. Oh, sorry, I spelled answer wrongly. So now let's try this one. Still gives us no. What are we doing wrong? So let's console or log this. And see where we're going wrong. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is a class, so we have to put a dot. So now let's console or log this and see what we get. We should get an element node or something like that. So, boom. Still not working. Why isn't it working? I thought I was really smart or something. Simple. I spelled answer wrongly here, so that's actually a typographical error on my fault, and I'm really actually sorry about that. So I'm just gonna write it like that, so that I don't want to change it in 4 places. I rather change in 1 places than change it in 4 places. So I see when we type here, it didn't give us anything. Let's refresh the page. Why didn't it give something initially? Okay, so we can see that now. So now we have the answer element. I want to say answer dot class list dot toggle. I want to toggle the non-class. What I want to do is I want to define that in CSS display. No. So what I'm going to do on the container, I am going to give the container, I gave the container a height of auto, right? Let's remove that first. Why is it? Okay, I'm giving it a mean height of 100 view height. So you can see according to our design spec, it's not actually at the beginning of it. So let's style that accordingly. So I want to say margin top 30 pixels. And we can even give it more. We can say margin top 80 pixels. Then we can give it a smaller width of 400 pixels or 500 right now. Oh, let's try 450. Okay, now it looks quite perfect. Not quite perfect, sure, but at least quite close. So you can see we actually quite right. Okay. So now what we want to do is that our next priority is to make this responsive. Because at the moment this is not responsive. So let's do that quickly. So media, max width. Let's make this 600 pixels. So what I want to do to the container is I want to say container with 300 pixels. That's just gonna cramp everything. Let's look at that 375 pixels. So I want to say padding 20 pixels. Yeah. So I want to say padding 20 pixels. And at this point, we are almost done with it. Just small. It looks quite nice. Those looks quite nice on 375 pixels. If you want to go below 320, you can go, but I don't actually recommend. I'm following the design specifications here, so 346 is okay. From 346 to 375, I'm quite okay. That. Last but not the least, we have a few things to do to make this quite pixel perfect, because that's what I'm going to use in this thing. So I want to say answer, oh, and whatever we spelled here, whatever we spelled here. I want to say color var lightish pink. Oh, we're spelling our wrong spelling wrongly. So that's we actually spelled it correctly. Jeez. Okay, yeah, because of the fact that there's answer 1, answer 2, and answer 3, right? So answer. So basis of all of them. All of them. Not on question, sorry. Answer 3, answer 4. I'm gonna paste it here. This is what lightish pink is. dark purple. Okay, now that's quite nice, but it's missing a final touch. Let's just quickly do this. I don't want this video to be 1 hour long. Seriously. Image dot forward slash assets images star. Save this. Okay, perfect. Pixel perfect indeed. We have done every single thing. The JavaScript is working. Easy, quite easy. Easy and nice JavaScript. So tell me what you did, guys. It's not actually, it's okay, but I think it can be better. What do you think, guys? It can be better. One small detail I did miss because I wanted this video to be a bit shorter, but I feel like you can follow up those on your own. But let me just fix them. Margin, we're gonna say 0 pixel, 10 pixels, 0 pixel, 10 pixels. We should only give it margin on the top and bottom, right? This should give it margin top and bottom only or something. Okay, it's like that, give it left and right. So 10 pixels, 0 pixels, 10 pixels, 0 pixels. Much better. And what we want to do is that we want to say something like can see that there's like a light border there, like a light border. Yeah, I will just say something like border 1 pixel solid and gray or ghost white. Actually, you want to give it border dash top. Border is actually too small for you to see, but I'm gonna darken the white a little bit. Too dark. Still too dark. Okay, so I think like this is okay. I'm not sure if you can see it, but thanks for watching, and this has been, we're gonna wrap things up there. Thank you for watching. Hope this video was not too long for you, and I'm gonna call it there.